we were in, where's Jack Moss? Is he in Llano?
Yes,
he's in Llano. And you just never, there's just small world stories everywhere. And Jack Moss is an artist. He has his art studio's just off the square, and
Gridiron Gallery.
And he does watercolor, but Western watercolors. They're really beautiful. And, Steve and I, as you can probably tell, we kind of like to talk. And we like to talk to people and meet people. And we started talking to Jack, and I'm thinking he's this artist. And he starts telling me about his life. He was a football coach. Not only was he a football coach, but he coached at our high school.
He did.
And so just learning, and then he's a huge Baylor fan because one of his athletes was one of our athletes at Baylor.
Charlie Brewer, quarterback for Baylor for 4 years.
So he was just such a fun, interesting guy. And he was really inspiring because it made me realize so many of us think this is our career path, this is what we're going to do. But then he discovered something else. And if you met Jack on the street, you would not say, oh, Jack's an artist. We have such ideas about what people do and what they look like. And Jack's one of my favorite people that I've met.
And so I echo that with Jack. He was awesome, or is awesome. But on top of that, I remember James, our river guide down the Rio Grande. And we were there a little bit late in the season, so we were lucky enough that it was just us and James. James has been on the river forever. He's a river rat. And he was so chill and so happy with his life in a remote area. Maybe that's why he was happy. But in a remote area, just being outdoor all the time. And grew up in the city. I'm a lawyer by day, and so you spend your time in courtrooms or deposition rooms or whatnot. And it really inspired me to have a better appreciation and make a conscious effort to spend more time outside chilling.
Now I'm going to end with, just recently we were in Greenville, Texas, and Steve was taking his pictures, and I met this woman, and she had her little dog, and we just started talking. And she was the first Black student to be in the integrated schools in her town, which was not Greenville. She grew up somewhere else in Texas, in West Texas. She grew up in, I can't think, but anyway. But then she was talking about having a grandfather who was a Buffalo Soldier, just the stories that she had. And I met her walking her dog.
Right.
And it was really,
right. And
she really inspired me with her stories. And we don't take the time to listen to each other. And just to meet someone, she wasn't in a store, she wasn't an artist, she
had no agenda.
No. And the fact that we could stop and talk and learn from each other.
Right. And she was a great example of, they talk about America as the melting pot that has become sort of a cliche over the years that's maybe being challenged a little bit now. But Texas is where it happens. We have our culture in Texas is the blending of so many things. And our travels have really emphasized that. You go to New Braunfels or Fredericksburg, there's all the German stuff. You go to Houston, you go to some of the wards there, and you can get the best soul food, listen to the best funk music in the world. You go to the Valley, you go to Laredo, and man, that Mexican food knocks it out of the park. You go to the ranches. I mean, it's just all within reach to us.
Tune in to Texas 10, the podcast where Steve and Melissa share their epic Texas adventures in 10 minutes or less.